What is up, fanboys and fangirls? Welcome to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show. Tonight we will be reviewing Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Sorry, I always just see it's just Wakanda Forever and a little Black Panther up top.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that too.
And then these two goons will be giving their impressions of God of War Ragnarok, as well as we'll have a little bit of coverage at the end of the episode of the Game Award nominations. So that was announced today. That's exciting.
Video games.
Also today, Tyler will be keeping us updated on the Commanders against the Eagles game. How are your boys doing right now?
They are 3rd-1 on the 20 or on the 19.
Oh,
going in down 7.
This is gonna be.
They're gonna tie this up on this drive for sure.
I don't know.
Well,
that was
okay.
not good.
Yeah. They're gonna get 10 points.
That got blown up pretty bad.
Should have done what most teams do and just throw a Hail Mary on 3rd and short.
Well, that's what you save 4th down for.
Gotcha.
The Chiefs get scored on 4th and inches.
Dude,
on a deep ball like every time.
The Cowboys did yesterday pretty bad too. It's like 4th and 6, and the Packers are like, "Yeah, we're going for this touchdown." You're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yesterday was a fun day to watch lots of football. So
it was.
I'm excited for you, Tyler, here with your team playing.
My team's one primetime game of the year.
This is gonna be an interception or a touchdown.
But
bet on it.
Oh my gosh!
Same day parlay.
What just happened? Okay, let's. Sorry.
You're good.
It's a field goal now. No.
That's been our this week's episode of Football Talk.
Sports.
Usually we have been starting off each episode recently talking about the Peripheral. I did not get to catch this week's episode, so I want to let you guys have an opportunity to chat a little bit about it before we really get going in the show. What'd you guys think about Peripheral this week?
I really enjoyed it. Things are building up, intensifying. In last week's episode, it was kind of revealed what happens in the future of why it's kind of
why it is the way it is.
And this week, we kind of learned a little more about Alita in some of, like, before everything kind of kicks off in the first episode, kind of what her plan is. I really enjoyed those first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they were awesome.
They were really good. And it's like alluding to stuff that's going to happen in the next coming episodes too. If you're paying attention anyway, you can be like, oh, I know what that is.
It's cool that like it kind of connects. Like the first 10 minutes of this episode really connects the present day and the Peripheral stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like really kind of shows you how they're related.
Nice.
Which is just really kind of... That's kind of been the question the whole time, is like, how are these things related? And that gets answered pretty quickly in this episode.
A lot more things are connected than I was thinking would be.
Kind of than what you were expecting.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's really cool, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, I kind of was talking to Brett before the show is, characters start to make decisions. And they start to make decisions because they're like, okay, yeah, I'm tired of sitting on my hands here. It's time to go. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of nice, like, when the characters feel the same way as the viewers do. Mm-hmm. It's like, because, we've really enjoyed it, but at a certain point, you're 4 episodes away from done, so it's time to, let's get this ball rolling, and they definitely do that in this episode.
Yep.
My only fear, I think now, looking at it, moving forward, is, like, I hope they don't get cold feet and not do a season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I think what they have is a really cool premise, and I think they can really make an awesome show out of it, like, that can last a few seasons, but I'm nervous they're not gonna renew it. I don't know if anybody's talking about it. I don't see a lot of things online about it.
Not a lot of chatter, but I mean that doesn't mean.
But yeah, that doesn't.
It has its fan base and viewership, but
I feel like the only shows I actually ever see anybody talking about were Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's it. They're both done. So.
Yellowstone is the new thing right now.
Yeah, that launched this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Season 5 of that?
Yeah. Big viewership numbers. We'll talk about that in news.
Cool.
Big viewership numbers. So, well, cool.
Yeah. Good show.
Good show. A show that I've been watching and really, really enjoying is Andor. I was behind for a couple weeks, but I finally
may
sat my butt down.
I may have pestered you a bit.
Thank God, Luke. Thank God, because I finally got through episode 6, and then I was like, okay, let's go. And then it was 7, 8, 9, and then I was like, yes, all right, here comes 10. And then this week, episode 10, fantastic. And
how many episodes are in the season?
12.
Okay.
So 2 more. And 9 and 10 play really, really good together.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much two sides of the same. It's kind of a little story within the greater narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Where one of the characters is kind of going off on their own adventure for just a little bit, but it's so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Luke, how are you feeling about Andor?
I completely agree with everything you said. It's amazing. You have this stuff with Andor over here, and then over here you got this political, trying to start a rebellion, but the side that you don't get, which is you just get the war in Star Wars. It's we're fighting the bad guys, and this is no, we actually might need some money to get this thing rolling. But
you don't need money for a rebellion.
But if a senator,
what does starting a revolution actually look like?
A senator can't just be I'm funding the revolution. She'll just get absolutely blasted by the emperor.
Oh yeah, cool.
So there's lots of secrets going on. I love the stuff with Skarsgård and
the actress who plays
Mon Mothma,
Mon
yes,
Mothma?
but no, I was thinking of what's his name? He's in the Clone Wars. He's in Rogue One.
Saw Gerrera.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, I hope we get more him.
Yeah,
I really enjoy Saw Gerrera, Forrest Whitaker, when he's not breathing into
The little mask.
an oxygen mask the whole time.
I had honestly kind of forgotten that he was in the show.
Yeah, he's not in it a lot.
He's not in it a lot, and yeah, having him show up, it's okay. What I have a feeling he's gonna be if we get season 2,
Mhm.
look, dang, he's the carrot.
Mhm.
He's the carrot on the stick. That's okay, I want more of that.
Yeah.
But I want more about all of it. Honestly, it's been so good.
Yeah, I've said it in a couple episodes. I think it's the best Star Wars that they've put out on Disney Plus live action.
Yeah. It just feels like the most honest Star Wars, or the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Soulful,
Visceral?
or no, it's someone wants to tell a really
It feels important.
cool story that's not just, hey, here's your favorite character. We're gonna
here's a lightsaber.
We're gonna fill in 2 days of their life and about this important event. It's here's a story about a character that no one really cared about.
I feel like the show has weight.
Yes.
Probably because these characters
we
might die.
Lots of them.
We've had lots of characters die in this show. You'll think they'll be really important, and then they get offed, in the heist episode, out of nowhere. It's a lot like Rogue One, and I think that's what Tony Gilroy brings. He's willing to give you a cool character and be they're dead.
Also, it just looks great. I
think there's been one scene that's that was probably filmed on volume.
Yeah, and yeah.
But the heist, the big episode 6 heist, they just made a set. They went outside and they filmed stuff, and it was so nice. And the prison is a set, and it's so nice to not just have everything filmed on a green screen or a blue screen or in front of an LED screen.
Well, and I just think it's nice to see the universe of Star Wars beyond these 12 people, right? There's 12 important people in the history of Star Wars, and everything kind of revolves around them. And it's well, yeah, but to get to those moments, here are the people who had to make sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the people who did that hard work of, talking with
gangsters and
making deals and back alleys and having to, man.
I'm
at
waiting
the
for
end
like
of
somebody to
episode-
like kill their friend or something because
At the end of episode 6, that was a nice twist I wasn't expecting.
the guy who was like,
Let's go.
let's just leave.
Let's just leave.
Yeah.
That was, but it's so true. Man, it just feels real and
Yeah. And
man, I love it.
yeah. And I'm really excited to see I don't remember her name, the blonde girl from the heist. 'Cause
Yeah.
her relationship is revealed to other
Yes.
characters. So now all these characters are connected in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited for them to all come together.
Yeah.
They have said like what season 2 is going to be, which is I think more of like a hey, we're a rebellion.
Yeah.
Because they've said like, oh, we're going to Yavin.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Yavin's cool. Man, yeah, it's good. If you like Star Wars, man, you gotta hop on the Plus and watch it. D Plus.
Hop on the Plus.
Well, we'll have a story about that later.
What?
About Andor and where you can watch it.
Oh yeah.
Ha.
Well, is it all of it or the first two
No,
episodes?
just the first couple episodes. But
Okay, then just get on Disney Plus.
The last thing I did I did two other things. First off, shout out to Lepke in the chat for helping me get my first clear of Vow of the Disciple.
Me too.
In Destiny 2. That was it was a lot. Overall, it was a lot of fun. It's a good raid, and I appreciate you guys having. I used to be there like the raid guy, and now it's like I feel like you had to be patient with me as I relearn things.
Dude, when we were doing it again Saturday with the clan,
With the other, yeah.
and I was like kind of forced to be like, all right, we need a symbol guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was struggling at first, and it's kind of amazing how the raid like forces you. It's like, no, you will know these symbols.
Yeah.
Because there's like 25.
There's so many.
And man, I felt so bad too because we were doing really good against the caretaker. And then there's two symbols that look almost the same. And I ruined it for everybody and we wiped. I was like, gosh, dang it. I felt so bad.
I am drinking a Baja Blast, Lepke.
Yeah, if you go to Sam's Club, you can get like a 30-pack of Baja Blast.
Who's Sam?
You don't want to know.
What do you get at his club outside
You don't.
of Baja Blast?
You don't want to know. He's got things though. He's
Try
got
that
things
again.
there though. Though no, he's got things though. He's got stuff. The last thing I did. Excuse me. The last thing I did was watched Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, nice.
I'm curious to hear about this.
Yeah, so it's out on HBO Max now. This is the Olivia Wilde
Drama-laden film.
Yeah, it got a lot of drama, and honestly, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't necessarily know if, from like a PR perspective, if that drama hurt or helped this movie. I mean, I don't think it helped it. It certainly didn't do.
It's bad.
It didn't do well in theaters. But it's weird timing, and movies just you can't have the same expectation.
September release. Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It didn't get good reviews though either.
No, it didn't. And I had an enjoyable time with it. It's a little bit of a mix of a couple movies that I really like that I can't say without spoiling things. So I probably appreciated it more, and I didn't find the twist at the end to be super like, turn offy. I guess I think that's probably
was
what
all a
most people
dream.
did, because I think the acting's pretty good. It's maybe a little heavy-handed at points, but overall it's kind of a unique premise. Like I said, it feels like other movies, not recently necessarily, although maybe more relevant than I. There's a show that's doing something somewhat similar. But this would have come out before that.
Andor?
No. So it's
Dragon Prince.
yes, the Dragon Prince.
Harley Quinn.
I did finish the Dragon Prince this week as well. It was fine.
I reviewed it last week.
Yeah, Luke reviewed it last week. I agree with his review. But no, I can see how people didn't like this movie, and it's not real high for me. It's probably a Matthew McConaughey. It's a little bit of a disappointment in terms of, I think Olivia Wilde, her debut feature was just fantastic, and maybe the expectations going into this, even though it's a completely different genre, the expectations were really high.
But yeah, Booksmart's awesome.
But Booksmart's so good.
Mm-hmm.
So freaking good. But yeah, give it a Matthew McConaughey. It's fine.
It's all right.
Yeah. And that's all I did this week.
Nice.
I'll let Luke go, because the only thing I did
Quick.
other than...
Football update. What's happening, Tyler?
Commanders picked off Jalen Hurts and are driving, but just snapped the ball over the quarterback's head, and luckily they were able to recover and throw it out.
They did get a field goal over there. So it's 10-14.
Yep, 14-10.
Okay. They still got some time in the second quarter here. So
yeah, the Eagles are the best team in the NFL in the second quarter, and we're just keeping the ball out of their hands right now. So it's working out.
Good strategy. All right, Luke. What'd you do? Tyler, you said you watched football. That's all you did this week.
No,
and watched Black Panther.
I did some other things too.
Oh, okay.
The big thing I did is something Luke did as well, so save that for last, and then with.
Yeah. Got to work. All right, Luke, what'd you do this week? Hit me with it.
I also celebrated my anniversary. I guess I'll throw that in there too.
Whoa!
My 6-year wedding anniversary was this past weekend, so I did that.
Congratulations.
That's why I didn't.
I gotta
do,
celebrate.
anything.
I gotta celebrate that with you guys.
Man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you did.
I celebrate all their holidays with them.
Yep.
So it's awesome.
Luke's like their adopted child at this point.
Pretty much.
It is kind of weird.
Boyfriend,
like Dana will occasionally cook a certain meal that Luke really likes, and she'll be like, "Hey, text Luke, I'm making that meal again tonight."
Dude, it's so good.
I'm like, okay. So.
Yep, it's good.
All right. Other than eat Tyler's food, what'd you do this week, Luke?
First, I started a new show. Just wanted to mention it real quick. I didn't even know it was a thing. And it's a Western TV show on Amazon Prime.
English.
Called The English.
Oh yeah.
Stars Emily Blunt. So yeah, let's go.
I was looking at it and I was like, I wonder if Luke started this.
Oh yeah.
So I'm glad you did.
I watched the first 2 episodes. Really enjoyed it.
The first 2, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's only 6.
Yeah, it's only 6. I'm excited to watch the rest of that.
It was good.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I mean, I'm kind of blinded by Emily Blunt.
I just like Westerns.
It's a blind spot for Luke. You gotta remember. But yeah, the other thing that I did, and this kind of goes into a news story that we have, was I watched Mask of the Phantasm this week. And we can get to that when we get to news. The big thing that just I did was, and I was more nervous that I was not gonna get this done because so much was going on this weekend. I binged season 5 of The Crown.
Got through the whole thing.
10 episodes?
10 episodes.
You beast.
Oh, that show is so good. Yes.
Wasn't this season the worst critically reviewed so far? I mean, it's still positive, but
I have no idea. I haven't looked.
I think it was the lowest rated, which I was like, wow, that's kind of surprising. But
I'll look it up and let's see what's going on.
How was it?
Oh, I freaking love it. I'm all about the royal family drama now.
He's about it.
Dude, I'm like an Anglophile straight up now. It's awesome.
A what?
An Anglophile?
Oh, okay.
What'd you think I said? An angler? I'm a fisherman. My dad's a fisherman. He's an angler. Was that the right thing? Oh, it was. Okay. How does this work with... Oh, yeah, it's at 75%.
Which is still good. It's just interesting that that's the lowest.
I mean, I think 2 of the seasons are
pretty
at
good
100.
track record.
Yeah.
Oh no, the highest is 95, which was season 4. I'm surprised season 1 and season 2 are so low, 88 and 89. I think season 2 is my favorite.
So low.
It's so low.
9 out of 10 people think it's good. That's not good enough.
The critics hate The Crown. Yeah, I freaking loved it. The performances and writing in it is just so good. This is, I think, season 5 and season 6 are the last 2 seasons, and they age them up. In season 1, season 2, they're younger. Season 3 and 4, they're middle aged, and now 5 and 6, they're older. Dolores Umbridge plays Queen Elizabeth II, which is it's just weird to see because I hated her in Harry Potter so much because he's so mean. But she's really freaking good as Queen Elizabeth, man. The other just honestly spot on casting is Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana. She's so good. And the wild thing about this show is just how they make you feel so much for everybody, even though you're just like, you're doing this to yourself and you're being a real prick about it. Yeah. It's like you're so rich, you got all these problems, and you just complain about like something said about you under their breath one time like 10 years ago or something. And everybody's so horny, man. And like the show isn't like that. It's just the characters are always in some sex scandal. Yeah. And they're so mad when it gets revealed, and they're like, oh, why would you say this about me? It's like, dude, you are committing adultery. And like the best part too is like Queen Elizabeth is the head of the Church of State of England. Yeah. And like straight up in the Bible, it's like, do not commit adultery. But like throughout the entire show, she's just like, sometimes you gotta let your husbands kind of do some things so you make sure that everybody's happy. And it's like, wrong! Nope, wrong! You're wrong! Friggin' Prince Charles, the actor is great. He's amazing. And I just can't stand him because the actor is so good. I want to smack that guy, dude. It pisses me off. I want to smack all of them a little bit. Just make me mad. But the show is awesome.
I think you should do it. I think you should fly over there and just start slapping fools.
They would put me to death. They would put me to death.
Like that cookout video where that dude's smacking everybody.
The slap Funny or Die parody. Yes. Or whatever.
Yeah, you should walk up in Buckingham Palace and just start slapping fools.
Dude, I freaking wish. They all deserve it. Just like give me one good clean slap at everybody, just so I can reset their brain and be like, listen, you're acting like a dang fool. Get it in order. Get it together, buddy. I won't smack the kids though. No, I won't do that. They're fine. Kids are good though. I feel like whenever there's been kids in this show, they've been really good, which is always super nice. Yeah. As far as like season 5 where it ended though, I was pretty surprised. I was expecting probably the biggest thing to happen, and it didn't. So I imagine that's going to be the big thing in season 6. Which, I don't know, I'm not really looking forward to because I feel like it's going to be super sad. So everything with Charles and Diana is just so sad all the time. Yeah, it's super good. I'm ready for a Emmy sweep when it eventually comes out. She's going to win all the Emmys probably for acting and writing and all that stuff. But yeah, I think every episode, every season of The Crown is a booyah. I think it's one of the best shows on Netflix. It's amazing how it just ropes you in. Even like with me, I always thought like royal family stuff was stupid. Like when all of a sudden like Prince Harry would be trending or something. It's like, why do people care about this? It's like, oh, I get it now. I get it.
It's kind of like having your own, like, real life. You good there?
Excuse me.
Like reality TV thing that's happening in real life.
Yeah,
it's like a reality TV show that's just reality,
straight up. And with The Crown, you just wonder like how much of this is true because obviously it's dramatized. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of times they'll be like, and this led to this. Like they'll do the epilogue words to tell you how like this is what happened when this person left the royal family or something. And I'd be curious to see how much is actually true. But like Prince Harry or whatever was like, "Hey, I'm writing a book." I was like, "What is this book?" Like, are we gonna end up getting another season of The Crown after 6? Then going to all this stuff where when Harry and William are adults, because like the drama continues. But yeah, it's good. Watch The Crown. It's good.
Nice.
Let's see. Did I do anything else? God of War and Black Panther.
All right.
I'll add my one other thing I've been doing because I realized that it has kind of taken the I don't want to say the world by storm, but like if you like phone games, Marvel Snap is kind of like everywhere.
You play as Thanos?
No, it's a game where it's a card game, and basically you have 6 turns per round or per game, and there's 3 locations, and you have to try to have the highest score at each location, and if you win 2 of the 3 locations, you win the match. And it's super simple and it's super fun to play, and just simple game, deck builder. It's good. Huh. Made $2 million in its first week of existence.
Oh wow!
Good grief.
So yeah, no, lots of fun. If you're looking for like a easy, mind numbing game to play, it's fun.
They should use that money to add it to their budget to give the VFX studios they hire more time to work on stuff.
Well, let's talk about the thing, Luke, and we don't have to talk super long, but Luke and I have both played God of War Ragnarok this weekend. I'm about 8 hours in. Luke, you said you're around, 17?
Yeah.
17-ish?
But I'm bad at video games, so I probably would be 13. I also just I'll pause it and leave it up and do stuff sometimes.
So I learned that if you go back to the home screen, it doesn't count the time. So if you just hit
I should probably do that.
PS Gym or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll go back.
I'll even just I'll be at Sentry's house and I'll just be like, "Oh, I'm safe here." And I'll go to the bathroom and get stuck doing other stuff. And be like, "Oh, my playtime just jumped up by 30 minutes right there."
What I will say, kind of about just quick impressions. It's really good. It's really good. There's some small nitpicks, but honestly, they're so easy for me to overlook because everything else is so good. That I can live with it. Ultimately, it almost feels like a huge premium DLC to 2018's God of War. More so than it feels like this whole brand new experience.
Yeah.
Which isn't a negative. I mean, that could easily be a negative for some, but I think it's cool that you feel like it was so easy for me to slot back into Midgard. It felt so good. It was just I booted it up, I took 10 steps, and I was like, oh yeah, this feels natural to me. But no, all in all, I'm having a really good time, really enjoying the experience. And it's one of those games when you play it, you just can't wait to see what happens next in the story. And that's just, it will propel you to finishing the game on its own by its writing, and that's the sign of a great narrative. So,
Yeah, the story's been awesome so far. I'm really curious where it's going to end. And I'm farther than you, so I know stuff that happens. Yeah. And actually know a lot more than you. I'm nervous I'm going to say something. Because I've gone to 2 more places than you.
Yeah.
The narrative is amazing. The voice work is amazing. The art is amazing. For the most part, the gameplay is amazing. You mentioned nitpicks, and I have nitpicks, but the more I play, the more the nitpicks start to turn into, okay, this is starting to become kind of annoying.
I think my biggest complaint and your biggest complaint are probably the same.
I'd say my 2 biggest ones are just the tiny fodder enemies are so annoying.
The little lizard worm
the lizards things. And the nightmares, and sometimes you just can't even see them. I'm just swinging my weapons around hoping I happen to hit them sometimes. I could use less of them. The bigger the enemy is, the better the action sequence is.
Yeah.
When you just have to kill tiny little goblins or lizards or whatever, it's just okay, whatever.
Yeah, it feels like the old the God of War 2018 complaint was enemy variety.
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of overcorrected on that a little bit. It is a nitpick, but that one for me is a little bit more forgivable at this point. I mean, obviously I haven't played as long as you, but That one's forgivable. But the next one I think you're gonna say is the one I just can't overlook.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it goes into the thing of it feels like a giant DLC to the other game. Like it just looks better.
Yeah,
because I'm on a better console now too. But they made no updates to anything regarding crafting, runes, slotting, a billion things. It's the exact same.
The UI for the
it's
menu
terrible.
is not great. Yeah.
Like, I feel like
That's
because
really
I feel like
interesting.
in the first game, I just kind of let it go because like it was a brand new game. But like it feels like they didn't even try to fix it. They're just like, let's just put out the newest game as fast as we can.
And I feel like they added more to it. Like it's busier.
Yeah.
Than it was in 2018. Like there's just so much. And an action adventure game, I wouldn't even call it an action RPG. Like an action adventure game. It's like so bogged down by min-maxing gear and this skill tree that really has no flow to it. It's just kind of like take what you want, I guess. And it doesn't remind you like, hey, I went in there the other day and it was like, you have 7,000 experience points. You should probably start buying some things. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should. I
had 30,000 at one time.
Yeah,
wow.
and I just tell you.
I just unlocked everything.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't say anything. There's no like skill points you earn. It's just all XP, and you just buy stuff.
Yeah.
So like, if you're not looking at that, if you're not thinking about it, you're just not gonna do it.
Yeah, and a lot of time it's like, should I upgrade this armor or should I just buy the next one?
Yeah. Right.
Like, because like everything will just keep getting better. So
that's really interesting.
Yeah. So from a UI perspective, like that's probably my biggest like true complaint is just the menus with the armor and all that.
Yeah.
And then you probably don't know this yet. You kind of know it. There's not just Kratos's skill tree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skill trees.
Yep.
And I'd say this is kind of my. I don't know if I should say this.
Hot take. Hot take. From Luke.
No. It's just I don't think it's a major spoiler.
Oh.
And you've done this. At a certain point, if you don't want to know this, I guess, like if you don't want to know anything,
skip ahead. Or plug your ears.
There's a moment in the game where you play as Atreus.
Oh, yeah.
Which
you don't do in 2018.
You don't do in the other game. You just like will shoot his arrows. Like he'll be like, "Hey, use this move, buddy."
Yeah.
But no, there's like a quest.
It's a good like hour section, I think.
Yeah. And you do it multiple times. And so far, Atreus' stuff has been my favorite part of the game. I like playing as Atreus more than I like playing as Kratos. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Me too, baby. Me too. I think Atreus is so much more fun to play as. He's faster. I think his moveset is more interesting. I'm excited. I hope I get to play as him again. I think my like. So I talked to Luke a lot about this as we were excited for this game to come out. I think this is the end of Kratos' journey as a character, and I kind of want to double down on that, especially after playing as Atreus the first time. I was like, yeah, we got a Red Dead situation on our hands.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to happen. So just mentally prepare yourself.
Unfortunately, like the bad part is I go back to Kratos, and when you just have Atreus' arrows, they suck.
Yeah, but he's so good.
But he's so powerful when you get to play as him, and then he's bad again. He's like using these tiny little sonic arrows, and it's like, buddy, just please stand to the side. You're just like getting in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's with other people as well.
Okay.
What?
But it's a lot of fun.
The third person in
way
party?
too early recommendation is fanboy worthy as of right now.
Yeah, if I had to give it something right now, it'd be fanboy worthy.
Yeah. We'll
Narrative wise, I'd give it probably Booyah so far.
Nah, that's not how I do it. It's the whole thing, baby. The whole thing. I've done that in the past, though. Straight up.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah, it's freaking good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was a lot later to our show tonight. I usually get here pretty early.
Yeah, you're usually here like 6:15, and all of a sudden it was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, is Luke?
I hadn't even left at 7 o'clock yet.
Are you guys coming tonight? We're doing the show, right?
Yeah, I was trying to beat these really annoying enemies, man.
JT in the chat even kind of mentions he was having performance issues on his PS4, and he would literally get killed by invisible enemies due to pop-in.
That reminds me. I've had quite a bit of bugs.
I've had one.
Was it the sound bug?
Which sound bug?
I lost all sound effects except for Kratos going. And it's just like, oh.
It's like that Hugh Jackman Wolverine voiceover.
When he's doing the ADR.
But like, there's a move where you can like slam your chains and it causes an explosion, and it'd just be him going, and that's it. It's just like, oh gosh, I need to reboot this game, man.
Mine was my bug was a voice line from Atreus would just like
repeat over
itself. So it was like, there's a hole in that fence over there,
dude. It's the same line.
Right when you get into Alfheim, and like I'd be like jogging, like running to the next one. Like, there's a hole in that fence over there, and I'm like, where's the fence? Like I start looking around, like there's no fence here. Okay. And like it took probably like 10 times before I realized it was bugged. And I was like, I just keep running, like, there's a hole in that fence over there. And I'm like,
it's like
there is no fence, Atreus.
Like,
what are you talking about?
We've had a full-on cutscene.
Yeah, we have moved on. Yeah, it was funny for a while, and then I was like, Dana was sitting downstairs when it was going on. She's like, "What fence is he talking about?" I'm like, "There's no fence. There's no fence. This is so stupid." But no, it's. I've enjoyed my time with it. I'm really looking forward to playing more of it.
Yeah, I also had a bug where, the companion had something was stuck on their hand, and it was like sparkly, and it didn't go away for a good like 2 hours.
Oh man!
Like I even like, because it was there last night when I was playing, and then when I booted up again today, still there, and I was like, okay, we might need to just reset the
close it,
the game, close it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great game.
Yep. Agreed.
Sweet.
Moving on. Should we move into some news, trailers?
Yeah, there was just a couple trailers that I saw this week. The first one I saw in the theater for when we were at Black Panther, and it's the I Want to Dance with Somebody, the Whitney Houston biopic. That looks like a lot of fun, but also will probably be really hard.
I don't know if we'll be able to take it seriously after watching Weird Al. I'm going to be honest.
Oh.
Because of the musical biopic parody thing?
Yeah.
I've had like 5 people at work come up to me and be like, "Have you watched Weird yet?" I'm like, "No, but I heard it's really good." They're like, "It's so good."
I might need like a year break from the musical biopic.
I need to watch that.
It's good, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
it looked good though.
I thought the trailer was thumbs up. Yeah, I thought it looked good. Yeah. Music sounded good in it.
Yep. Agreed. There was, I'm not sure if we mentioned this last week or not, but there was a new Pinocchio trailer for Guillermo del Toro's.
I would never mention that.
Because it's gonna have a limited theatrical release. I think just maybe this next week. So, big thumbs up from me. This looks like maybe the most emotional Pinocchio. You didn't even watch the trailer.
Don't care. It's Pinocchio and it's stop motion. Don't care.
Two
things I hate.
They've made, so I'm excited for it.
And it's not good stop motion. It's creepy stop motion.
No.
The bad kind of stop motion. It's the stop motion that makes you go, ugh.
It's a stylistic choice for sure.
Gonna give me nightmares.
For sure. But
as if Pinocchio doesn't give enough nightmares.
Fair enough. Did you guys have any other trailers? Those were the only two I had written down.
John Wick Chapter 4.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing he's back.
This is so this was a strangely, I'm gonna give this one a sideways thumb.
We're going to halftime 20-14 Washington.
Let's go. I thought
you were doing like touchdown for the John Wick.
Oh, I'll give it a
but
thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it
it's
a
a thumbs up.
I'm
But it's
getting-
not like a touchdown. It's
I'm getting
thumbs
a
up.
little worried. Like,
Maybe not.
I,
God, that line's so awful.
I'm
I'm so
hoping,
excited.
I'm hoping they keep it fresh. But this was the first time I really felt like, oh, we're into franchise material here.
It already has a spinoff coming out too.
I know.
One of my news stories.
I know, but no, still, I'll still see this. The first 3 were excellent.
I will agree with your feelings though, because when I watched it, I was like, yeah, we've done this.
It just
But,
felt
like,
very the
but
same
I
to
think-
me.
One of the things though with John Wick is like they always one up themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm always interested to see how
Yeah,
they do
yeah,
it.
100%.
I think there's like a
He's
camel
gonna fall
or
off 10 stories this time. Oh yeah. All practical too.
something. Yeah, of course. You got to throw Keanu off the top of the Empire State Building by the end of this thing.
At what point in this franchise are we getting the team up with all of the characters like Halle Berry comes back and
Dude, I wish.
Dude,
getting the whole team together, Avengers style.
give me the final chapter with, honestly, Keanu, Lance Reddick, Halle Berry, and then Ana de Armas' character from the spinoff, and then
Morpheus.
no, the other guy, Ian McShane's character,
Oh
yeah.
and all them too.
Yeah.
Like let's get them on the lineup, the spin around Michael Bay shot. Let's get it, and then they can just.
It's gonna happen.
Dude,
has
it
to.
needs to happen.
Nothing makes me smile more than watching Keanu go up the stairs holding a suit like a Batman cape and just being like, I'm like, yes, I'm so in.
Were they okay? I only watched the trailer once. Were they deflecting bullets with swords?
Probably.
Probably,
They're
yeah.
the best assassins in the world.
They were like, it looked like they both had swords and they both had handguns.
Yeah.
At each other. It
They
looked
might have been-
ridiculous.
they
It might
been
have just been
suits.
hitting their
their suits.
their suits are
Okay.
bulletproof.
I maybe need to rewatch.
I'll be
it,
honest,
but
I kind of want to rewatch the John Wick movies.
I'm down, dude. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're so fun.
There are movies that you haven't seen that we need you to watch first.
Like what?
Weird.
Oh yeah, he hasn't watched Weird either.
I haven't watched it either.
I
Western
felt
Front.
I felt like we were targeting me.
No,
Nice guys.
we all have movies that.
Now I'm targeting you.
Yeah, Nice Guys. Yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
so
That
good.
one I deserve.
So good. Okay.
The last trailer I have was it was one of the Witcher things.
There was a Witcher thing?
There
Blood
was
of
some-
the,
there was something with The
Oh,
Witcher.
With,
the spin-off show.
Yeah,
with, what's her...
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh, yeah.
I didn't watch that trailer.
I saw like a 15-second thing on Insta or Twitter before I scrolled by it.
I watched it.
How'd it look?
I don't remember. I don't care.
It was a sideways thumb for Luke because he had left no impression on him.
I cannot recall one thing from it. I just remember watching it being like, who cares? This franchise is dead once Henry Cavill
Leaves.
leaves. Yeah.
I was talking with a couple coworkers at work, and one of them was like, "I'll watch season 3 and then I'm done." And then another one was like, "I was
I'm
kind of
only watching
hoping
season
to, I
4."
was hoping to get into it, but now I'm not sure I'll even watch it at all."
Yep.
But that's a hard.
Dude,
That's
watch the Liam
Sucks for
Hemsworth season come
Netflix.
out and he's even better.
Yeah.
it could be.
You never know.
I want
Could
to.
be.
Dead Fist in the chat
Uh-huh.
has a really funny idea that I kind of almost think I'd be on board with. But he said, I really hope someone at Lionsgate James Bonds this IP with John Wick.
Oh, just
Ooh.
recast
Just
him.
keep recasting it
Recasting?
and doing them over again. I'm kind of on board with that. And
Dude, we need a female John Wick. I mean, like, how long is it going to take?
isn't that what Ballerina is going to be?
No, it's just a joke on James Bond.
I know.
We need a girl James Bond. Like, no. Make a cool character.
Just give me a good character. All right, that's a great opportunity for us to hop over into news.
I think we can start off with the
The
saddest news.
Yeah, just get that out of the way.
It came in like a wrecking ball.
Mm.
And that was that Kevin Conroy passed away, 66 years old. Don't know who that is. He is Batman.
Yes.
Like, he's most people's definitive Batman. He was the voice of Batman for 30. Let's see. 32 years because he's technically started before 92 because of recording. But like that show came out the year I was born.
Ooh, wow, yeah.
Still holds up.
He did animated series, Justice League. He did animated movies, video games. He was even a live action Batman on
Batgirl or Batwoman, yeah.
In one of the crossovers.
Yeah.
He played the version from Kingdom Come.
Yep. He was a theatrical actor. He did everything. He was we'll call him a friend of the show.
Yeah,
You guys got to interview him.
Yeah,
we met him. That was a dream come true.
Did we? Is that released?
Episode 21.
Episode 21. So if you want to,
I believe I went back and listened to it.
These guys. I remember listening to it back in the day. I haven't listened to it since, but
episode 21, yeah. Wizard World Comic Con in Oklahoma City recap.
What a great day, man!
And it's time coded in the notes if you want to go find it.
You know what that makes me think?
I still have the recording.
We need to do more of those kind of things.
I still have the recording separate on my phone.
It was so cool. Like going back and listening to it, like I asked the question, and I didn't realize how like compared to we're gonna toot our own horns here. Compared to everybody else on that in that interview, like because it was a group interview, Luke and I absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, we did. Beep, beep.
And I had asked my question and he started to answer it, and Luke was like, "Oh yeah," and then he answered it with a second thing, and Luke was like, "Oh yeah," and Conroy's like, "Oh yeah." So I was like, "Dude, he was so cool." It was so funny. We were eating. We're gonna go down memory lane. We were eating when we found out like Jerry is the guy's name who did all the press stuff.
Yeah.
He like comes over to Luke and I were like stuffing our face with pizza because we hadn't eaten like all day because we had been like going, and Jerry comes over and he's like, "Hey guys. Kevin Conroy interview," and I'm like, "Oh, what?" So we're running over to Conroy's, like where Conroy's sitting, and I'm like holding my food, and I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Conroy, is it cool if I set my food on your table?" And he's like, "I don't care." I was like, "Okay." So I set it on the table. He was just as nice as can be. He was so cool.
He was awesome. And we like also went to his panel.
Yep.
It's amazing. Like you'll talk to actors who play Batman all the time and how they like get in their mindset, but a lot of times I feel like they don't really know that much about Batman.
They don't understand him. Yeah.
They don't like Kevin Conroy was in the mindset of like a writer when it came to Batman.
Yeah,
which I feel like is super rare from a performance side. But yeah, that was a great day meeting him. The childhood hero.
Yeah.
Don't meet your heroes. Well, I met one of mine, and he was freaking
awesome.
It
was so worth it. It was so worth it. I remember Luke and I walked away from that interview, and we were just so fired up. Like, yeah. At that point, we were just like, the weekend's done. We could not do anything else, and this was a success. And it was just so cool, and he was just so gracious in that interview, and just how nice he was to everybody. And even when he was getting impatient with some of the questions being asked, he handled it so well. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it was a sad day. I went and sat in a conference room at work by myself for about 45 minutes after that.
Mm. Yeah, we were talking in the group chat, and I just didn't even know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I went and sat in a conference room and listened to the interview out loud on my phone. I just needed a minute. My boss was cool about it, so shout out to my boss. That was awesome.
My minute was an hour and a half on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Or Sunday night. This was last night, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
And it had been so long, I was like, you know what, I need to watch it. And I mentioned it earlier, I watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm. People always talk about what's the best Batman movie. Real ones will mention this one. It's up there on the list. And it's really even better if you had just watched Batman the Animated Series. I hadn't recently, I guess in the last year. But it just goes off of that so well. Like it's the same animation, all the same voice cast. What a great Batman origin.
It was also, wasn't it?
A new great villain.
I might be wrong in this, but wasn't it the first DC animated movie to go to theaters?
I think so.
Yeah. Like it was like a trailblazing movie. Like it was a big deal when it came out. Yeah.
But yeah, I freaking love that movie.
It's good. It's been a long time since I've watched it, but it's really good.
Favorite Conroy thing?
Oh man. I feel like
Or one doesn't have to be the favorite, though. Maybe just one.
I won't say the animated series, but that's probably my real answer. I'll say the Arkham franchise.
Yeah.
It's just you got to spend so much time with him, and I think the thing that will stand out to me forever, and this will never change, is when I read a Batman comic, it's Conroy's voice I hear.
Yes,
and that will never change.
Yep, 100%.
He is Batman.
Super underrated him in Batman Beyond.
Yes, very good.
Just playing Bruce Wayne and like barely Batman. But I gotta say the epilogue episode in Justice League is so good. It's the one where he talks to Ace. Like there's a bunch of people always repost and we're like, this is the Batman we want.
Yeah.
This is so good. Yeah. So good.
Yeah, a legend gone.
Yep.
But I'm glad that his catalog of work will stand.
Yeah.
Forever.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Forever.
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest with you guys. Like when Christmas last year, Bryn was 3 months old. We watched the Christmas episode of Batman the Animated Series. Right when I got her out of bed that morning. Yeah. It was the first thing we did.
Yep.
It's something I always go back to. So.
You guys are real fans. Love it.
Dude. Yeah. Sucks.
Yep. Well, in
can we find happier news?
DC news. We'll just stay in DC news. I don't know. You guys.
Was there other DC news?
A little bit.
I think so.
There was a Warner Brothers Discovery town hall where James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Did they cancel Batgirl 5 more times?
Yeah.
Were kind of introduced, and they had a moment to talk, and they said they've been hard at work mapping out a 8 to 10 year plan for DC. They've said it will be a single story that encompasses all of theater, TV, and animation,
and games.
So
Ooh.
that's a
and games
tall order. As someone who's kind of been a fan of letting things
be their own thing
in their own little pocket universes, that makes me a little nervous, but at the same time,
it makes Star Wars kind of complicated.
I know the power of that. Like, the Infinity Saga is awesome, and I think as long as he doesn't get too
jumbled.
I feel like where Marvel's at with Phase 4 right now, which is like everything's interconnected, it's gotten a little hard to walk through that swamp. So I'm gonna need DC to make sure that
I think
navigable.
I think what you have to look back at is the Infinity Saga, when like that was still fresh.
Yeah.
I think the concern is it's been done now, and so like because after maybe showing my hand a little bit here after Black Panther, and then hearing this news, I was like, I don't know. Excuse me, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, I don't know, and I'm excited because I like the DC pantheon of characters more. But there is definitely, I definitely would be worried. I do think some of the game stuff, I imagine like DC's always been, going back to, the comic books, a multiverse type story.
Yeah.
And so my assumption of, connecting those is like, oh no, we'll probably build towards, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and you'll get little nods here to the games if they decide to go that route.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say games for sure are. They were like, but games could be.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was interpreted. But I'm excited about this. I'm excited that it seems like DC's finally trying to lay some groundwork, which is not something they've been doing.
Yeah.
So I try to look at the positives.
Silver lining there.
Yeah, I'm forever the optimist, so.
Well, that's something Pastor Brent talked about this week. Find the silver lining.
I was at work. So,
well, there you go. That's the Cliff Notes. Yeah. A DC character, actress, Margot Robbie, had her told someone in the news that her Pirates of the Caribbean reboot is dead.
Yes.
I'm okay with it. Like.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
I would have watched it.
I would have too. I would have too. But at the same time, like, do we need more? Do we need more pirates? No.
They're gonna bring Johnny back.
Okay. Give me Marco's thing before that.
Just put them both in it. Make her the villain.
That could be interesting. Could be down for that.
There was also some DC rumors about Jason Momoa stirring the pot.
Oh.
We talked about this a lot,
Yeah, we
actually.
did.
I have not been privy to this conversation.
So he's been stirring the pot about his dream DC project is potentially going to happen.
What's his dream DC project?
I believe it's Lobo.
That's right. I do remember hearing something about that.
And here's what I told Luke. This is very on brand for this episode. I'd rather just have Ryan Hurst play the character. He's the voice actor for it. He's the voice actor for Thor and God of War Ragnarok. I'd rather have him do it. Also, Luke, take it away, because we texted about this a lot this weekend.
We texted about it a lot, and like my starting point was, did we not just have a like off-brand villain lead his own movie and nobody cared about it and it didn't review well? Like, so we're just gonna do that again? I do not care about Lobo as a character, unless he's a villain in a Superman movie.
Yeah.
So like if they would announce this, I would just be like, gosh dang it, we're just not even off onto a good start. Like, why would you start there? Can we get a Superman movie for crying out loud, please?
Then we talked about it for a while.
Then like, I don't know, 2 hours later, I was like, wait, hold on. We forgot that this is going to be all types of media. So what if they did a show? And I was like, okay, I'd be more okay with that. If it was like Peacemaker, like this side thing, like you have Lobo be this smirk with the mouth, going off crazy, doing shenanigans,
being the man.
TVMA thing.
Then I said, what if they build him into the Suicide Squad?
I think they could fight him in the Suicide Squad.
That could be true too.
But eventually where I landed was show, sure. Movie, absolutely not. Please no. Please God no.
Yeah, I don't think
Lobo, more like no go.
Oh,
Lobo in a Superman movie would be fun.
Well, you know what is
I agree with that.
going? Yellowstone season 5.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I'm still on Lobo.
Okay.
Lobo was in Man of Tomorrow.
Yes, he was.
He was great. He was a side character, which he is. He's a side character. Oh my gosh, I would be so annoyed if there is a Lobo headlining movie.
Feature length.
Oh my gosh.
Would you rather have Lobo or what's his El Muerto?
Put him in the same movie.
Because they got the same energy for sure.
But like, oh my gosh, dude, it's just like we're gonna give this like probably $100 million. Such a waste of money. They don't make money. What has Black Adam made? Like $250 million
Yeah.
on a $200 million budget before marketing. Freaking A, man.
It passed 350.
Domestic?
Okay,
No,
well,
worldwide.
Okay.
still no profit. So,
Yeah. It's got about 50 million to go before it becomes profitable.
dude, I cannot believe that movie had a $200 million budget. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Well,
Anyway,
Yellowstone season 5 premiered this weekend, the first 2 episodes, and it had 12 million viewers.
Jeez.
what on?
Paramount Plus.
Holy cow.
How come the rest of Yellowstone isn't on Paramount Plus? Or is it now? I've looked 1,000 times. I still
I
have
thought
it.
it was.
No. I've searched 1,000,000 times.
It's not
1880
Peacock, is it? I was sure it was Paramount.
I think it's Peacock.
Oh, maybe it's Peacock. No. I should know this, but
I think you're making things up.
Unless it was added in like the past like couple weeks.
I mean, they may not have. I don't know how the distribution deals.
Because I remember I got on Paramount Plus and I was like, I really want to watch this show. 'cause
Yeah,
I hear it's great.
Paramount.
All 5 seasons?
I don't know about all 5 seasons.
I need season 1, episode 1. Is the episode
Yellowstone
I'm on.
season 1. Oh, Peacock. So season 1 is on Peacock.
What annoying distribution. Like, what? One is NBC and one is CBS. Make it make sense, please.
Yeah, so the first 4 seasons
Are on Peacock?
4 seasons are now out.
You got 2 seasons on Peacock, 1 season on.
Baby. Sorry, you said 4
It's a
seasons.
Hulu original. The other season's on Prime, and 1 on HBO Max. And then the prequel series is on Disney Plus.
Oh my god.
That's how it feels. It feels
Oh,
like
it
it's just
It
all over the
does.
map.
It does. I don't know. But
We can figure that out. So after the show.
anyways, it's really, really popular. Those are Lord of the Rings and... No.
Those are big numbers.
Those are big numbers.
They're big.
Was Lord of the Rings?
Big boy numbers. It's
12?
like 25.
25, that's right. Yeah, so...
And then Game of Thrones was like 70.
Game of Thrones like $1 billion.
So it's not that big, but those are still really impressive for something that's on,
a streamer.
a streamer.
Yeah, it's big time.
So good for them. Any other news stories? What do you guys got?
Right, let me minimize the game.
Did you guys see the Star Wars announcement?
Oh gosh, no.
Studio Ghibli is making
yeah.
Star Wars stuff.
No, not interested.
saw
Grogu and the Dust Bunnies.
I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I saw what it was and I was like, oh, not cool anymore.
What a fat L.
Hashtag waste of potential.
Maybe my kid will like it.
Your kid will be like, oh, pretty colors.
My kid will make it through the intro and be like, I'm done with this.
Be like, where the f is Bluey?
Turn on Bluey! Turn on Bluey, Dad!
Then sign up for this Star Wars crap.
Yes, Brent, I'm sorry.
Get this little green man off the screen.
I apologize.
Why is he eating dust bunnies?
There's the blue dog.
Get the Bluey healer on here. Yeah. There's other Star Wars news too. Luke's favorite news story of the week.
Ooh.
Sean Levy developing a Star Wars movie.
Oh, dude, I forgot about this. Gosh dang.
You sent that and I was
Tyler,
like,
I buried this in the back of my mind so I wouldn't think about it.
when I saw it, I think it was Luke that sent it. I was like, cue Ryan Reynolds entering Star Wars.
I remember sending and I said, ugh. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is going to be Qui-Gon Jinn's dad or something.
At this point,
He's going to be Jar Jar Binks' dad.
I'm convinced that Kathleen Kennedy is just hiring everyone in the world to write a Star Wars, and she's just going to pick her favorites.
Yeah. Well, you have Sean Levy and Taika in that mix, so that's interesting. And then on the other end of that spectrum, you have Ryan Johnson. It's kind of a wild place to be.
It's a wild place to be.
I just want Andor season 2.
And what's the guy that man who wrote Multiverse of Madness is writing a Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
For Kevin Feige to direct.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, I'm now convinced there's just no one at the wheel. We're in the back of this pickup, going 70 down the field.
I think you should pitch
no
your Star Wars
one-
movie, Brett.
Dude, it's now or never.
You literally have it written already, don't you? At least the first one?
Part of it.
Send it up. They might be like, hey, this is pretty cool. They might, I don't know if they'll let you make it, but they might buy it from you, give you big old money bags.
I'll
Scary
take
Terry,
a
baby.
writer's credit and then
Move on.
help with the next one.
Then people will start doing
Well,
research
yeah,
and be like, who
until-
the heck wrote this movie?
Until the internet hates me for it and threatens to burn down my house, and then I'll have to move and I won't ever write for Star
No
Wars
one hates
again.
Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
I know, that's
You
what
just
makes
gotta
it scary.
remember. You just gotta remember.
They're frightening people. And I'm one of them.
You either gotta make it for the fans and be terrible,
We made it for the fans.
or you make it. Well, I don't know who else to make
Here's
it
the
for.
deal.
Make
Here's
it
the
for
deal,
the cred.
Luke. Here's the deal, Luke. I'm gonna say this, and it's the reason why I'll never get a Star Wars, and it's because I'll never make a Star Wars for the fans. I'll make the Star Wars I want to make, and I'll tell the story I feel like the fans need to hear.
So just make it for the fan, which is you.
I'll make it for one fan. Me.
I've heard your
As long
pitch.
as
I
it's
think
a
it's good.
Vornado. Yeah, I've also heard your pitch now, so think.
Oh,
I
thanks,
mean,
guys.
some of your ideas and mine are pretty similar with the things like we want to do, like way in the future, non-human main lead. I remember that was like one of the first things I said to you, and you're like, "Yep."
Yes.
Different like Jedi perspective and style,
Mhm.
not just. It's like, bro, you have the Force.
Those animated Elden Ring things.
Yeah, Tyler told me about one of the Jedi in the Light of the Jedi novel, and I was like, "That's exactly what I was envisioning." It's
Read the High Republic books; they're so good.
Sounded like the green slug from Monsters Inc.
You know, I'm gonna have some like time around Christmas where I'll have like some quiet time. Maybe I'll
When you
maybe
do,
I'll read.
let me know, and I'll read the third book in that series at the same time.
Does quiet
So I
time
can get back
exist?
into those characters again.
Does quiet time exist when you have a kid?
You have to make it exist.
If you give them
You're like, sit in the corner, it's quiet time.
if you give them a
I'm a good parent.
screen,
Yes.
it's very easy.
I mean,
bribery.
No.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
Bribery.
Oh, all right. Is that all of our news?
No, we kept teasing the
Game
Oh,
Awards?
the Game Award stuff.
no, the ballerina movie.
Oh.
The John Wick spinoff with Ana de Armand. Keanu Reeves is going to reprise role, and that starts filming really soon.
I like that.
Then Warzone 2.0 comes out December 16th. So if you're listening to this right now, that's in 2 days. If you're listening to it after the fact, you're probably already playing it. And Season 1 launches that day as well. And then The Witcher 3 gets a next-gen update on December 14th, which has been long rumored and long awaited. So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
I have two things. I have my last news story before Game Awards, and then I have a question for Brett.
Oh, okay.
Has Helen Hunt signed on to Twister sequel? Guys, hold on. We have a breakthrough. She hasn't been casted, but there's a Google headline now, like a ticker. So, like it answers the question. Helen Hunt has not yet been confirmed.
That means everybody wants
People
the
were
People
hungry
are
for
back. Let's go.
The Twister movie.
Like I don't even have to look through these links anymore. Google's be like, Luke, shut up. You ask this question every week.
They're like Luke and the other 5 billion people who are asking this question because everybody needs to know.
About 2.82 million results.
There's 2.82 million people Googling that on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
had a question for me, Luke.
Did you play the Halo update?
Oh yeah, I saw you on Halo this weekend.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I did do that, a little bit of that. So, I hopped into a little bit of multiplayer. I could not get either of the new maps.
Oh,
I
hate that.
In the time that I played.
Well, it's
They
opposite in
need to have a
Destiny.
limited playlist
I
like
know,
for
right?
when those come out. Oh gosh.
Well, they have one, but it's like all of the old maps. I mean, that are applicable for the playlist, and then the new maps are in there too. But I never got the new maps. I just got the old maps.
It's the opposite in Destiny. They only put you in the new maps that nobody likes.
Yeah. But Forge is really cool. I did spend quite a few hours. Probably 4 hours
You
messing
building-
around in Forge.
Building Helm's Deep in the Forge.
No, but you could very easily.
Can I jump in your Forge? I'll help you do that. That'll make me re-download Halo.
There we go. Yeah. Teamwork together, building Lord of the Rings sets. No, I've always loved Forge, and even in certain other games, like Far Cry 2 had a really, really impressive world builder, and this is pretty impressive. I've had like just the object count that you can have, and the
I
ability
think it's like
to
6,000
to
or something
scale
like that.
things.
Yeah.
So like I don't have to place like 5 individual walls. I can just make one wall, scale it out to as wide as I need to be, and that's one object instead of 6.
Dude,
It's
listened.
fantastic.
The Kind of Funny Xcast had the Forge director on for an interview,
Oh.
and he talked about scaling was one of the things that they were like most excited about, because they were like, at first they were like, we don't want to do this because the things will start to look ugly, and then he's like, we don't want to put limits on our fans. Let's just let them do it.
Yeah.
And so they just did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Dude, scaling things like rocks too, you can like actually make like boundaries to your map that look
Somebody
decent.
scaled out something like a fire thing and made their ground texture was all the fire scaled out big.
oh my gosh.
And so it looked like the fire was moving while they were playing on it. It's pretty cool. He was talking about like some of the things the communities created. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really cool. So
Cool. Video game of the year?
no.
No. I don't. Halo ain't winning anything ever again. No, I meant video game of the year nominees.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We did have some Game Award news. We're gonna just hit the one, I think, because we need to get into our Black Panther review, and then we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive next week into Game Award stuff.
Yeah,
so
we gotta
what
go
were
into
our
best esports
nominees
team.
for Game of the Year?
I'll go through them. A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I was really happy to see a Plague Tale up there.
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy to see Stray up there.
Yeah. I have a prediction, a way too early prediction, because I haven't played all these games. I haven't beat all these games that I have played yet. I feel like most people are like, is God of War Elden Ring? Like, it's going to win. I think we might have a surprise winner. Before the show, I said, I think a Plague Tale might steal it, but I think you can throw Stray in there, too.
Ooh.
I think one of those two is, like, going to jump in there and steal the Game of the Year away, and everybody's just going to be like, what the freaking heck?
I think Plague Tale has a better chance.
I've played 4 of the 6.
And what are your thoughts, Tyler?
I think Elden Ring's going to win.
Think so?
I do, unfortunately. It's not my favorite. Of the 4 I've played, it's probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
But it's just, it is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I can't take that away from them. But it's just not for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. I've played none of those, and
Well, that's because most of them are single-player games.
A Plague Tale is on Game Pass.
Actually, only one of them is a multiplayer game.
look, I didn't have nothing against single player games. I've just been gaming less lately.
We have to keep the bit going. Just accept it.
I accept it.
Is Xenoblade multiplayer?
No, Elden Ring is.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I guess I know nothing about this game.
Yeah, Elden Ring's multiplayer.
It's got PvP?
No.
Yes,
well,
it does. You can
Whoever swings their sword
you
the
can
slowest
initiate
you can
combat, right?
So you can put down like a seal, and it'll say, "I welcome people to invade my game," and people can come in, and you have to fight them.
Otherwise, you can do co-op, right?
Ugh.
So.
You can co-op bosses and stuff. Yeah. Run around in the world just like.
Gosh, I
Yeah,
love
like
that
if you
video.
can't kill the tree sentinel, you can request help, and somebody can come in and help you.
That's cool.
That's like the guy.
That's nice.
There's a guy, and you have to go look him up on YouTube. But his name is Let Me Solo Her.
Mm-hmm. He's killed Millennia like 3,000 times.
And he does it in like he's naked with like a club. Yeah, you can like summon people into your games, and they can help you. However, when you summon somebody into your game, the health pool for the boss gets a little bit bigger to scale, and sometimes this happened to me. When you summon someone in, they'll leave, and the boss damage doesn't drop.
Oh no!
So you have to fight the boss. I actually beat that's like one of the few bosses I soloed, and I beat that boss, and it was like, man, this sucks. But no, it's a good game. It really is, and I just think it's way too big to not win it. If
Well,
it does,
would it win?
I can't wait for it to not win though, and everybody to just lose
Will it
their
win
mind.
Game of the Year, or will it win like Best Action Adventure?
I think it'll win Game of the Year.
Because I mean, I haven't talked to a lot of people about it, but I don't know how the story is.
You have to figure it out.
Because like if a game is pretty good
Well, and it has a
in some ways,
pretty,
but the story is super good, it can win narrative.
pretty
It won't
strong
win narrative.
fan base, but it's the Game of the Year fans. I don't know what percentage of the fan vote
I don't know.
counts towards it, but like
90%.
it's not that. Maybe like 15 or
That would be hilarious.
something. I don't know.
It's Breath of the Wild in terms of its story.
Yeah, I won't win narrative then.
No, I'm saying like I didn't say it win narrative. I'm saying like a game that is pretty good in all of its aspects, but the story is like the good part about it. It should win narrative, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So if
So,
it's
like,
a good action
If it's a
adventure
good
game,
action game,
maybe it wins that, but it doesn't win Game of the Year.
yeah, because like Game of the Year is the best game in like every aspect. Everything about it is good.
That's true.
Good story, good writing, good combat. If it's a combat game,
It's not even nominated for Best Action.
good mechanics, good. Hopefully, I would hope they'd include UI into that because I feel like that's becoming a thing.
Is it an action? That's probably in role playing.
In any case, we'll break down those
we'll
a little
dive into
more
that.
next week. But
Luke's gonna win content.
At this point, we need to jump into our Wakanda Forever review.
Wow. Nintendo crushed it in the role playing one. Holy cow! Nintendo exclusive.
This week we
Nintendo,
got
Nintendo.
The
probably
final
the biggest
movie of Phase 4.
Oh yeah.
Phase 4 is done. Thank God.
But I think this is probably the most anticipated. And look, most Marvel movies these days are sequels, but I think this was probably the most anticipated Marvel sequel since maybe Endgame, which is a proper sequel to Infinity War. Maybe Spider-Man.
Yeah,
but it's up there.
But it's up
there. In the same category.
It's in those same categories. What were your guys' kind of initial non-spoilery thoughts on Wakanda Forever?
I'll read my impression.
Yeah.
While this pays tribute to Chadwick Boseman in a beautiful way, the rest of this movie feels quite uninspired.
Luke?
I'll just read mine too. Mine's kind of similar. It's good. Definitely the best MC movie of the year.
I would agree with that as well.
However, outside of the tributes to Chadwick, which I think were really good, and they handled it very well, I think it's kind of a mess. And it doesn't know how to toe the line between doing a tribute to Chadwick and doing a personal political war in between two countries.
Yeah. For me, I think this is a movie
Bad end.
that
No.
It's
a movie.
It's a movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
I didn't write this down, so I'm kind of struggling to find the words in the moment. But I think that the movie loses itself in becoming mostly a tribute rather than a sequel. I think you're right in that it's kind of a mess in where its plot lines go, and I think its lead is fairly uninspired. They do a lot to make you wonder who's going to pick up that
The mantle.
when it's blatantly obvious within the first 2 minutes of the movie. And I think I would have rather seen that individual, they're the main character of the movie. That's maybe a spoiler, I guess, but they never wrestle with what it means to be Black Panther, only what it means to move on from losing someone. And I don't think they do that. I don't think they act that well. I was never terribly convinced that, which is crazy because it's a real life loss.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there's just something there between having to do this as a job and having it happen in real life that just doesn't translate.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally.
Well, I think having to do that is part of my issue.
Yeah.
That's why I think it feels almost uninspired.
Mm.
And I think Coogler's been pretty vocal. He's yeah, I had a totally different movie. And I think Coogler tried to get out of this, honestly. I don't think he wanted to do it, and I think, obviously he did. And, I mean,
This is not a movie I would have...
I don't envy any creator who has to make this movie. Yeah.
And having to change your script when you have, we talked about this even just a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even last week, how he had a different movie.
Yep.
It's still about grief in a way, but it's completely different, and having to change that up and rewrite it in the face of losing your main actor, your hero, the person who really, at least on screen, made this movie work. Not that the other actors and actresses didn't do good jobs in the first one, but like Chadwick, he carried that movie on his shoulders, and it's this one just never really gets past that. It never gets past the remember Chadwick.
Yeah.
In my mind. So. Okay. This feels like it's going to be a very negative review. I hope it's not.
I got positives.
I got positives to talk about. There's
Me
still
too.
lots of things good, but what were some of your other maybe positives and or criticisms of the film here in kind of the non-spoilery section?
I think there are some really good performances in the movie. What did you do? Oh, we're back.
Back, baby.
3 specifically. Angela Bassett is super good.
Yep.
And Denai Guerrera as Okoye, I think, is super good. And I really liked Riri Williams. I really liked her introduction. I'm excited for her show now.
Yeah. I hope, we were kind of talking about this after, I hope they keep that tone for her show, like of her character. I hope that's the character that we get in the show and they don't just completely wholesale change her.
She was such a breath of fresh air in this movie because she was the one, she brought the charisma.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense that everyone else was dealing with loss and didn't necessarily have that charisma, but they did need her in there, I think, to kind of balance it. And while I'm not sure from a story standpoint I needed her in this movie, from a tonal standpoint, I think she was a great addition.
Yeah.
I will also add in addition to who you liked, I actually did like Letitia Wright, and I think I give her a little bit of kind of a pat on the back for having to go from a secondary character who really doesn't have a whole lot to do to being like, please carry this franchise for us now.
It's not an easy thing,
and
sure.
That's a huge step from what she's done in her career. She is not starred in a movie.
No.
Like, she's in Black Panther, sure, but she is not starred in a film.
No.
She's like an extra in Ready Player One. Like, that's how recent we're talking.
She's in Ready Player One?
Yes.
I don't even remember
That's how
that.
recent we're talking about her career. Like, it's so new. And so, for what she is,
she was also
I thought she did pretty good.
A side character, or one of the characters in Death on the Nile.
Didn't see it.
She was fine.
I didn't see that. I thought she did a good
but
job.
One of 12
I mean, considering she was given the keys to a franchise, also had to miss filming for like 10 weeks because she got injured on set, and then came back and had to finish the movie. Like, considering all that, I thought she did pretty good. I wasn't disappointed. I didn't think she was bad.
Yeah, I didn't think she was bad.
No,
I was like blown away though.
No,
okay, yeah.
no. But
I think that's what's hard for me, because inevitably you compare, and I don't think it's fair to it's hard. It's not fair to compare Chadwick Boseman and
Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright. No. They're on a completely different playing fields. But at the same time, like, the things I liked most was probably early second act with her. And as soon as we got into the third act, I felt like
classic third act.
It was it got very
punchy.
Very we're there. We're going through the motions. We're doing the things.
We're doing the Marvel thing,
but we're there. Yeah. Because she has a very important decision she makes in the third act that I like thematically, but I just didn't feel emotionally.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
And I think in the hands of a different actor, but again, she's already cast. They're not going to recast her.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's a tough spot.
It's tough. It's a tough spot. But,
kind of I guess one of my criticisms into a positive, because there's one bit of it that I did like. Just the action sequences I thought were really disappointing. A lot of them were up close, shaky cam, and just were kind of jarring to look at. Except the one I really did enjoy was the one with Okoye on the bridge.
Yeah.
Was so nice to watch. It was pulled back. You got to watch them fight. Tonally, there was no music in this scene, so it was like oh man, like
felt like
I feel like something bad might happen. It reminded me of the Dark Knight Rises when Batman's fighting Bane. I was like, is she gonna get freaking wrecked? But I really did enjoy that fight. The rest, like, it's either a CG fight or it's like right here.
Yeah.
Camera's just moving around. It's like, whoa.
Well, they have a really cool set piece in the third act that is very unique. It's not something you've really seen in Marvel. And it's not, I don't consider it necessarily a spoiler, but there's a big fight on a ship. And I think there's a lot of cool opportunity there. And it just felt like it was a very boring fight. It was very disappointing for like how cool of a setup it could be.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I want to piggyback that scene you're talking about on the bridge. But there's a really what I think is probably the best like quote unquote girl power scene in the MCU that they've done so far. And it's Okoye, Shuri, and Riri from the garage.
Yeah, that entire like sequence.
And I think that whole
cool.
sequence is like the best like female led scene like in the MCU. Like I think the handling of
it's not going, hey, look, we put girls in the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at us. Yeah. Be proud of us for what we did.
It's not I'm just a girl being blasted through a stereo speaker reminding us that the lead is a female.
Yeah.
It's 3 female characters doing something awesome and doing something without needing a bunch of other superheroes to show up and save them.
Yeah.
And it was just really refreshing. And I think everything in that scene leading to that great fight scene to end it was awesome. Yeah. I was a big fan of that. Mm-hmm. And I think the handling of its female leads in this movie are handled well.
Yeah. I would agree. And I think from the beginning of that scene to the end, all of the characters within the fight or within the chase are making really interesting decisions. Mm-hmm. I'll preach this till the day I die. Your characters need to make interesting decisions, and the first act going into the second, and most of the way through the second, I think the characters make really interesting decisions, and for the most part, I think it works.
And I'd say, kind of piggybacking off that, I don't think they even need to be interesting. They just need to be in character.
Sure.
A lot of times.
You can make decisions that aren't interesting, but as long as they're in character and they make sense, then
like
they
you
can
can't
work.
You can't have a Batman that doesn't kill all of a sudden just be like boom at the end of a movie. Like be like, that is not in character of what he's doing.
But it's an interesting decision. No. I totally get you there. What we haven't talked about Namor. Our villain. What do you guys think?
As far as Namor, just in general as a character, like even in the comics, I've never really cared. Mm-hmm. It might be because I am a really big fan of Aquaman, and I know Namor came first. I do know that. I wasn't a fan. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was interesting. I thought the performance was good. I like the guy who played him.
Tenoch Huerta.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. I should have wrote it down.
I'm
really bad at writing down names. But he was just Killmonger again. Like the motivation was the exact same. His plan was the exact same. This is like, okay.
It definitely, to me, it felt a little Killmonger inspired, but almost more. What's his name from Aquaman? Who's the
Ocean Master.
Ocean Master.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it was that that civilization, that Telecon, and Wakanda had so much in common.
I hated that.
That
I hated that so much.
And
are we in spoilers?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But to see the difference in leadership between the decisions that someone like Shuri would make, or
Queen
Ramonda versus Namor, was really interesting. I did dig how they did that. That it wasn't that the underwater city was not just like a straight up Atlantis, all shiny, super tech advanced. Sure, they had some.
They went there.
Technology, but
they went there, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of hard to see."
Yeah, it's just brown and
it's dark,
and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's fine. We can.
I liked their costumes.
Yeah, that was great. My next pro. I
like with the lionfish, like headdress
and the hammerhead.
That was cool.
Shark helmet too. Like, I would give costuming. I think that was a big thing in the first one, and it's even better in this one.
Yeah,
costuming's great. I was very impressed. For some of it, there are other ones that I don't like.
Big blue suit.
I'll say the Power Ranger characters I didn't like too much. I'll leave it at that.
The characters are just the suits.
The suits.
Yeah. That'll be interesting going forward.
But also those suits are characters, kind of.
I assume they're comic inspired. That's why
they
look the way they do.
They're just introductions for other comic book characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I was less into the score on this one than.
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
I couldn't. I'm not a music guy, so I couldn't tell you why.
I was less into the licensed music, but it's made for the movie.
Yeah.
As far as like, what's his name?
Ludwig's
score, I think is still very solid.
Yeah.
But then like you have like the licensed music come in. It's like, oh, this kind of killed the vibe.
I think the novelty of what that first movie soundtrack was, like, it doesn't wear off per se, but like they use, it's a lot of the same from the first one. Obviously it's also a lot different, but it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't stand out like it did in the first one.
Yeah.
I think because you've kind of heard a lot of those motifs before.
Yeah.
But it's still one I'll listen to. Like when they're
I love it when those
come
in. Yeah. I love it.
And when they flew back into Wakanda again, like you get that same Wakanda intro, and I was like, yeah, see, I love this. Like this is the score I want. But like I couldn't tell you anything about the Telecon themes and stuff. Like it does. I don't remember any of it. Didn't stand out to me at all. So
fair enough.
And Telecon as a whole was in my con list. And then I guess really quickly, CGI. I feel like we have to talk about CGI. Every Marvel movie now, it's just bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
And then my last con.
There was one part we were like, it popped up. We were both like, ugh.
Yeah. It was,
like I feel bad just talking about it every time now because like it should be Marvel's fault, but like there's people that are working on it and just don't have time. Like we feel like we have to say it every time.
Yeah.
The last thing, my last con, and we'll probably talk a little bit more about this in spoilers. But what does this movie, and this is a question as well as a con for me, what does this movie accomplish from a storytelling perspective?
To move on from Chadwick Boseman.
I think this movie does two things in total. And I can say them because they're not spoilers, but it establishes a new Black Panther and it introduces Namor.
Both of those things should have happened in the first act. And then they could have had a full movie.
They could have told us. They maybe could have told a story.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
but like, to me, this movie is a flat circle.
like a circle.
Like a circle, so not a sphere.
You're
a circle.
your characters ultimately end up in the same place. Like only like one or two characters move forward at all in this movie.
Yeah, well, and I think that goes back to like all of their growth.
It's not
It's
personal
not-
growth.
it's not growth,
they take up a
it's-
mantle, or they
Yeah,
like I don't know.
it's the movie's all just because so much of it's a tribute and so much of it is just kind of about that grief and dealing with that grief. What character growth there is. Yeah, man. It's just kind of about that acceptance. And that can be an interesting story. I think that can be a very interesting story if you have the right actors and actresses and the right writing team to dig deep into that. But because it's a Marvel movie, we don't have time to dig deep into that.
Well, in my Letterboxd,
You don't have time in 2 hours and 45 minutes.
In my Letterboxd review, I wrote, the more I think about this movie, the more I find myself disliking it. And one of the reasons for that is I think what they accomplished from a storytelling perspective could have been done in a 15-minute short.
Mm.
And it's just kind of like you said, it's 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah.
There was bits in the middle where I was like, man, this feels long.
It does feel long. We saw the movie at 11:20. Dana and I had massages scheduled at 3:45, and we made it at 3:45.
Oh, wow.
Like, we were pushing it to get there on time.
Now our projector was busted for a little bit, so
And
it
you
did
have at
get
least
started.
30 minutes of
It started about
previews
almost noon because of the projector problem.
Did you still have to watch all the previews, or did they
Yeah,
just...
no, they started from the very beginning.
That's how they gotta do marketing, you know?
That is bull. If you didn't have...
There was people in the audience like, it's okay, now we can skip some of the trailers. They were like yelling it to the people talking to us.
I would talk to a manager, but...
Okay, Karen.
Also, we had the laugh track in our theater. That was interesting.
It was,
There was,
dude.
like-
There's
a
funny
group
bits of the movie. They were funny, but like
There was like a group. We weren't laughing. I mean, you, Dana, and myself. We weren't laughing at like all at some of these spots. And like this whole section to our right was like,
and it did sound like a
It sounded
laugh
like a
track.
laugh
It was. I think that maybe that was what made me laugh.
It was weird.
Interesting.
I never heard such like a fake audience laugh before in real life. It was confusing.
Did you enjoy the?
Maybe it is a simulation.
Did you enjoy the pauses for laughter that are written into the movie?
I was probably not paying attention.
Those were interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's give kind of our rating, ranking, suggestions, and then we'll dive
chat.
into spoilers real quick.
Okay.
It's a Matthew McConaughey for me.
Me too. It's a Matthew McConaughey.
It's a Matthew McConaughey across the board, ladies and gentlemen.
When I came out of it, I was like, it might be a fanboy worthy. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, no.
I feel like
I hate saying it, but no.
I feel like a big part of it too is like I don't really want to watch it again. It's just kind of really sad because of the good stuff in the movies, the Chadwick Boseman stuff.
Yeah.
But like the story within the movie is boring or uninteresting.
Yeah. We'll dive into spoilers now. So this is your warning if you haven't seen it and you were just looking for kind of our impressions.
It was a clean sweep of Matthew McConaughey's across the board.
Get out now. So yeah.
Hey, what was that thing that made Wakanda so unique to the world?
Vibranium? Yeah, that? Yeah. Why? Why does Talcon have to have the same thing?
Because we needed a reason to get the heart-shaped herb back.
And it's like, oh,
That's it.
Here's our really uninteresting version of Atlantis for the MCU that has access to vibranium, and what have they built with it? Nothing. But some jewelry.
And it's really important that they keep it.
It's so dumb. Dumb decision. Oh, it made me so mad. Like, cool, man. Cool.
Yep, I agree.
So stupid. As soon as that happened, I leaned to Luke and I was like, no way. Like, really?
I didn't hate it overall, but I will say that it did just kind of feel like a
We'll just give every character
More-
adamantium when we get there.
more
too.
than anything, it just kind of felt like a way to give we need a reason for Riri to be involved, and we need a reason for different people to be going after her. It's got to be vibranium because I get why that in a writer's room, or even just parsing out why do these, if you have these things that need to have. I'm walking it back here a little bit. This is what happens when you put plot points before your story. When you're saying, we need to introduce Ironheart. How are we going to do that? Not write your story and be like, oh, hey, this is a good opportunity to introduce Ironheart. And we need to introduce Namor. So you have these things that you feel like you need to do, probably because Marvel has their 10-year plan. Their new 10-year plan. They've already done one.
6 movies a year.
And we have all these things that need to be connected. And we need them in the movie. How do we get there? And then you have things like, well, now this other place needs to have vibranium. Sorry. It's a weird thing. I really don't care about it that much, but I do think that's probably how they got there. Yeah. Namor fighting was not fun to watch. I think when you talk about bad CGI,
how many times in the
CGI,
movie, every time they show his feet, me and Tyler go.
Yeah.
That was the most painful for me, just because he's a CGI character.
Like the Wakanda battle, man, it's just hard to look at.
I didn't think it was very interesting either.
It's felt like I was watching a video game.
Yeah.
And video games look good now.
What do I guess the big thing here, we get the Queen dying and Shuri is Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about those decisions? I was not expecting them to kill off
Ramonda.
Yeah,
I was not either.
I was kind of surprised by it, but I thought it was handled well.
I agree.
What it prompts, what it brings about, I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to, I think, probably in my opinion, the most interesting scene outside of the bridge scene in the whole movie. And in that, when Shuri goes to the ancestral plane.
Ancestral plane stuff was done really well. I like that.
Yeah, I think that her death leading to Shuri's first venture to the ancestral plane, I think that's such an interesting.
That's a good
moment.
point, because you're right, because she has that conflict of, I was not expecting you. I was expecting my brother. I was expecting my mother.
Yeah, she was, and then she,
you wouldn't have been able to do that with her mother if she was still alive.
Correct, and I think that was a good decision. From a writing perspective, it's okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
and and she gets in there and she has the line earlier. She's like, if I dwell on my brother's loss, I will burn the world down.
Mm-hmm.
That will be my goal. And you hear that line, and you're like, oh, it's kind of a throwaway. But then it does come back, and when she goes to the ancestral plane, and we're in spoilers if you're just joining, and Killmonger's sitting on the throne, and you're like, yeah, that fits her personality.
Yeah.
That is a good match. I'm not surprised. Also, huge shout out to them for not digitally imposing Chadwick into the ancestral plane.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is they were going to do one of the Panthers in the tree and have it be T'Challa. So I'm glad they didn't do any of that. It's just thank you.
Yep. Agreed.
Everything with not showing him at all was just, other than the mural. I was like, great job.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That was
great job. But yeah, ancestral plane stuff was really good. I liked it a lot.
Agreed.
And I liked that we didn't get the whole conversation until a little bit later, when she makes the decision at the end to not kill Namor.
Yeah.
Which everybody knew was coming, but whatever. No, I like what that led to, though.
Yeah.
With Ramonda dying. Do we think that we needed any of the USA plot stuff?
No.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, totally just forgot about it until you said it.
Yeah, I was like, why is this here?
That could have
Why are
saved
we-
us 20 minutes of runtime.
I was like, why are we doing this? What is this accomplishing? And they're like, well, the America's gonna attack Wakanda, and it's like, no,
they're not.
Like no, we don't need this. They're like, yeah, and
we gotta set up the Thunderbolts.
why? What's his nuts was married to what's her nuts, and I was like,
Off my nuts.
I was like, what?
Not an awful lot.
I was like, what are we doing?
I think I was really annoyed that Wakanda was being so secretive, but also not at all.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like how, like they weren't willing to say like, actually there's like an Atlantis going on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not us.
Right.
Yeah, if you
like-
know you're not gonna help Talokan, why are you so afraid to just say they exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the decision had been made. Like we're not helping them. Okay, then why do you care if they attack you?
Yeah.
I think
You
it would
clearly
been...
know you're going to war. So like, who the hell cares?
And then like they went to go get Riri. That they're negotiating with terrorists essentially.
Yeah.
They're doing what they're saying. They go and get her, and like they attack anyway. So it was like, I don't know. I just thought there was a lot of nothing conversations happening and going on with that. Like
This
you can't...
movie does not do international diplomacy well at all.
Yeah.
Between what's happening with US/UN and Wakanda, and then what is happening between Wakanda and Talokan, and like the whole thing is just a bunch, like you said, Luke, it's just a bunch of talking.
Yeah. Like, what if they would have been like, well, we're Wakanda, we're super powerful, we have vibranium. Maybe they don't know they have vibranium. And so they're like, why don't we do some good grace here with the UN? Because since they don't trust and be like, hey, like, there's another underwater nation down here. And then Talokan is like, fine, you effing around with us, you're about to find out. Then they can go into Wakanda and absolutely destroy them.
Right.
Like what they do.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like just decisions that were already made, and then I have to watch these like 10-minute long scenes of people saying nothing.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. I did like the when it comes to long conversations, when Shuri is in Talokan with Namor, they have a conversation. I do think that's good. It helps her character decide who she's going to be as a leader down the line. I think her having empathy for him. They seem to have a good chemistry, at least acting wise, together. That was, maybe a little more convincing for me than some of the other stuff. But kind of after that, then it does just kind of become I punch, you punch.
Yeah, third act's punchy punch. Punch,
smash.
Punch, desert,
You want to know?
stuff.
You want to know what line annoyed me the most in this entire movie?
Imperious Rex, when he gave his catchphrase that most people won't know and it makes no sense when he says it.
No, not that one. But that also was really stupid.
I've never known what his catchphrase is, but then I was sitting in the movie and he goes, Imperious Rex, and I'm like, that's probably his dumb catchphrase from 1944 when he was invented.
No, it was when they're talking about how to defeat him, and he's like, and Baku's like, he's as strong as the Hulk, and I'm like, there it is. I knew you guys couldn't get away without mentioning an Avenger. We had to get there, right? It's like, here we go. Like, why? We know. This is in the MCU. We all saw the Marvel Studios banner. We know.
Yeah.
We know. It's okay. You don't have to remind us. And you know what I was so happy about? They really had not mentioned Stark other than one time when talking about Ironheart.
Oh yeah.
Because
Doesn't somebody just yell, she's got a freaking Iron Man suit?
no, so Shuri's looking at her drawings and she's like, "Is this a Stark Tech arc reactor?" And she like grabs it off the board and they move on. And I'm like,
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I was like, that's good. No, this is good. Why? That's perfect. Like, I'm okay with that, because that would be like a, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Right.
Because they knew Iron Man.
Yep.
But like, no, then they're like, oh, he's as strong as the Hulk and Thor, and you're like, oh my god. I like want to implode when that happens. Like, it makes me so mad, so mad. That was just dumb. But yeah, the Imperious Rex line was stupid too. I was like, why did he say that?
I honestly was just like, because the Marvel heroes, I feel like it's clobbering time or Hulk smash. Like they all have their little 1960s catchphrase,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, his is dumb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Imperious Rex.
It's flaming time or flame on or whatever.
It's like Jimmy Neutron.
Just like,
it's like got a blast.
like if you're gonna have them say it, like work it in. Like with Cyborg's Booyah too. Like Snyder didn't want to do it because it didn't work in his movie.
Yeah. Kudos to him on that.
Yeah.
We give him a lot
We
of
just
crap,
gave
but-
Zack Snyder kudos. I feel like we've met a milestone. Who'd have thunk it?
Tyler, your boy's gonna win this thing?
It feels like it, man. They did this 2 years ago to the Steelers when they were 11-0.
Oh boy.
I think that's offensive PI.
That's
I
what
think
it
the
seems
last
like they're
thing,
calling.
the last thing I feel like I really want to talk about is the post-credit scene.
I kind of want to talk about that and also expand on it. I wish there would have been more Nakia in this.
Yeah.
So Lupita
Yeah,
Nyong'o
she's
is
great.
great.
She's fantastic. We haven't even mentioned her yet.
She's so pretty.
And she actually did. She actually did what her character like. We knew that she infiltrated nations before, and to like actually get to see her do it and do the work to get to do it, I was like, I like this.
That was nice.
This is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you want to make an interesting Disney Plus show? There could be one.
There could be one
Be
right
way
there.
more interesting than all the other crap they're putting out.
Well, now would be raising T'Challa on a beach.
That's true.
So-
Raising T'Challa.
We were sitting when they showed up at the end there, and I leaned over to her and like,
Not when she's walking to the beach with the kid.
no, this
This
is
was
like
prior.
before the credits,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, we're gonna see a little 5-year-old.
Yep.
And man, honestly, I thought it was the saddest part of the movie.
Oh, dude.
It got me real good.
It was rough. I was struggling in that.
It did not. I was confused. I understand emotionally what's happening and why they're doing it and why it makes people. But for me, it was. Are we? Are
Oh, never mind.
I don't know the comics well enough to know the answer to this. So you guys can either tell me I'm just a moron or maybe I'm right. Is new T'Challa Jr.
He has a son in the comics, but his name isn't T'Challa. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't his wife also Storm?
I think he's had a couple wives.
I guess for me it felt like we just got our new Black Panther and I feel like they're setting me up for the next Black Panther.
Maybe like 20 years from now. Yeah.
Sure, but I assume he's going to.
I think it's just more tribute to Chadwick.
Okay.
I don't know that they'll.
I don't think
continue.
I think the name made it more confusing to me. I think just
it was
kid
it was
would've been
attributed
emotion
saying,
enough.
hey, like T'Challa's still in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's just his son.
His son now. Okay. I can.
I
It's
don't-
a
I don't
this
know
is
that
not
he'll
the
ever don-
end.
I don't think he'll ever don the mantle. I think it was more of just a gesture.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, it was a logistics issue there that I was just confused about them like throwing Shuri
Do you need to
out the back of the bus.
do I need to
15
explain
minutes after she
how
got her?
where kids come from?
Yeah, please.
So when
I just went to the hospital and picked up mine. I don't know.
and
is
women.
It was at the store. They just sent me like an email. They were like, "Hey, your pickup's ready," and I just showed up.
A lot of
They
times,
pulled it out of the oven and handed it to me.
a man and a woman, they like to hang out with each other, and
I
a
like
lot of
to hang out
times,
with you guys.
a lot of times they're married. Nowadays, not as much anymore.
Uh-huh.
But they have sex and they have a baby.
Whoa. TMI, Luke.
TLDR.
People have sex. That's gross.
I wouldn't know.
Oh my goodness.
No, I did like that scene though. I think it was nice that
Good.
it was it's better than all the other mid-credit scenes we've gotten recently.
I mean, it was a casting announcement.
Luke's favorite thing are casting announcements.
No, yeah, I thought it was really good too. I thought it was very sweet.
Yeah.
It
I
was.
cried.
it was the one moment I was like, why can't I get her?
Lupita?
Letitia, right?
Letitia Wright. I was like, emotion. Good job. But yeah, I guess I was, for whatever reason, I was not terribly emotionally impacted by the tributes in this movie.
I wasn't as much as I thought I was going to be.
I looked over and Stephanie's like crying. I'm like, why is it not working? I don't know why. But that's probably why I don't like it as much, because most of the movie is tribute and it didn't work for me.
I got like tears in my eyes, but like I was full on expecting to like weep like I do a Transformers 5.
There was a lady behind us like sobbing.
Dude, when the Marvel logo was going, there was a lot of tears I could hear in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised. And I'm an emotional guy when it comes to movies. I've said it lots. I feel like I've said it every week now. Like I'm an easy empath. Like you can get me crying over like a squirrel that's killed off or something.
Yeah.
Like what's the video of the girl playing The Last of Us and Ellie shoots the bunny. She's like, "Oh, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Like that's me.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that last one got me pretty good.
Yeah, good.
But we were all like trying to talk after it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, it's cool." I feel like my voice is like a second away from cracking. It was rough.
But yeah, I think the reason it didn't like hit as hard is because like the story within the movie just isn't that
Takes
impactful.
Yeah, it does. It does. I don't disagree, unfortunately. But
at least it wasn't bad. Like I feel like everything else is.
I would say it was. I still rank this. Yeah, you're right. I still rank this above pretty much anything else that the MCU's put out
this year.
Yeah,
I would agree.
So, like, we may have spent in the last almost hour.
This was a very negative review, man.
It may feel very negative, but it's still like.
Still good.
I think that's just the place we're in with the MCU.
Probably.
Way too harsh. Yes.
I think we're all just becoming the old man who yells at clouds.
Here's the problem. If your movies make $2 billion, I get to be harsh. I'm going to judge it hard. Did you earn that $2 billion with a good story, or is it just fanfare?
Yeah.
Like
that's fair, yeah.
I'm going hard on it.
I agree with Luke.
I ripped Black Adam to shreds. I was liking that movie until the end, and I was like, okay, this is dog water. Freaking
third act
bro.
is rough.
Dude, Skateboard was going in on those zombies. I freaking loved it. It was hilariously bad.
Yeah. So, okay, here's something I didn't understand. How did the Coens
not ride all the way to the United States in like a day?
No, how did they get stabbed, and then not die?
Vibranium.
Was that ever explained?
Not really.
They literally just got up and like jumped back in the water.
I think it was it's kind of like
they have the beads or whatever.
The vibranium armor and like their ancestors ate vibranium.
Okay. Yeah.
So just like that's a healthy.
But
rock.
No, they never full on be like, yeah, we stabbed them through the freaking face and they're okay. Oh, it's not through the face, through the chest, the tummy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe I'll see an explainer on YouTube and I'll feel dumb. But all right, we're right here at 2 hours, so let's get out of here so Tyler can be happy or sad when his
I'll
game
probably
is
just
over.
finish the game here. If that's
I can't wait. No, I'm gonna watch it with you while it.
You can watch me be stressed.
Yeah, I'll give you a back rub. Thank you all for sticking with us. And no, my house is your house. Do whatever you want.
Mi casa.
Thank you for watching here live on Twitch. Thanks for watching over on YouTube or listening via the podcast. We'll be back next week to talk a little bit more about Game Award nominations, and I know I'll have a couple things to review.
I will be reviewing my trip to Houston.
And Tyler will be talking about Houston. So, until next week, we'll see ya.
Bye.